All right, we do the app of the week here. We just started on America Tonight. So this guest is going to help us a lot with this. I was thinking today, apps of the week. What are my favorite apps? His name is Jason Taylor, and he's with Code Authority. It's his baby, and it's all about developing apps for business owners. And you know how big that is now. Some people are confused about apps. Some people are really using apps to their advantage. But there's no question it's the future. It's the wild, wild west, just like parts of the internet are when it comes to apps. Jason, isn't that true? How many app possibilities are there even? It's infinity, isn't it?
Well, to some extent it is infinity, and as technology develops and the devices that these apps run on continue to develop, more possibilities will continue to flourish.
What have you seen work so well? Because there's people that are business people that sometimes can't see how it might work for them, and maybe it doesn't work for all businesses. But what businesses have you seen that you think have had some pretty good success with apps?
Well, it is kind of mixed, and there's a lot of our clients out there that are kind of exploring what might work for them, and they're sort of most of them are starting out being client-facing apps. So a really good, popular app to build for your business right now would be something that your sales force would use to harvest opportunity information, maybe to take orders from your existing customer base and automate getting those orders or those opportunities into your internal systems and starting down a well-defined process.
Yeah. In some of the, it's like restaurants. Restaurants are using apps. I think they're trying to use apps for some interesting things where they have coupons or people can keep up with what's going on at the restaurant, or if they have a lot happening, it seems to be pretty useful for restaurants. I think some of the obvious things like mentioning fast food and whatever, I think for them it's a layup when you have a huge company, but so much of the country is based on small businesses. So you really are in the you're in an interesting lane in developing a lot of this stuff. And you're holding a nationwide contest, so everybody listening to us across the country, searching for the next great American app idea. So if they come up with an idea, what do they get? If they're the winner of the millions of people who enter this, what would they get?
Well, I don't expect there to be millions, but I would be really excited if there's even a few hundred or maybe several hundred. But what they would win is, first of all, we're going to choose as many as we can afford to give this package of services to. So there may be 2, maybe 3 by the time we get started on providing those services in the third quarter. So what they get is, but basically what this is a pre-funding strategy for a startup that's based on some sort of software development technology like an app. It could also be a web-based portal like a Facebook that has an app. So it's simple systems to complex systems. And what they get is our architecture and design team creates an architecture and a design for the app. It's proven with our everyday methodology we use for our paying customers. The next thing they get is we create a working prototype. So now they have a architecture, they have the design, they have a demonstratable live prototype. Then we hold a launch event and bring press in. Then one of our partners provides them a 5-year business plan service consultation. And then finally they're ready to take their idea and everything they have and pitch it to venture capital or angel investors.
Wow, that sounds like a great deal. It's really, if somebody comes up with an idea and you guys pick it, it is like Shark Tank. It's like Shark Tank and whatnot, right? Kind of Shark Tank of apps.
Yeah, and what we're trying to do is find a great person who has, or group, who has a great idea and has some subject matter expertise in that field and a sophisticated level of business acumen, so that they can take this work that we provide at no cost and be successful with it.
Do you anticipate? I mean, I guess the sky's the limit. It could be really anything. It just has to trip your switch that it's the right kind of an app? Because certainly we know apps come in all sizes, where even some of these game apps have been huge. So I guess could it be a game app if it was something that was viable and could really take off?
It could be a game app if if it was some kind of groundbreaking new genre or a new way for a person to play and interact, and it had a clear monetization strategy. It certainly could be a game, and my team would be really excited around here if a game won, believe me. But yeah, like Shark Tank, one of the things that angel investment groups and angel investors and venture capital groups want is they want well-prepared people to come to them when they give their pitches. And so this can take someone who has all the subject matter expertise and knows they can kill it if someone will build this app, and can set them up to succeed in that situation.
Yeah. How did you jump into this? Were you a computer kind of geeky guy, or no, you just were in love with apps, or no, you went to school for it? How did you get involved in jumping in this space? Well, yes, I have always been a computer kind of geeky guy, so that's one. Starting at about age 14, which is for me going to be about 1986, my dad walks in the house with a compact portable computer, which at that time was a 60-pound suitcase. And I started programming in BASIC. And it went from there. I went to college for it. I went to the workforce for a few years. I started Code Authority in 2001. We build custom software. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to create a way to funnel in more interesting and exciting opportunities for us to be a part of things that are maybe bigger than the average everyday project that we do. Yeah. Was your, and you say, you have a design team and whatnot. Were they, this has to get them excited, right? They're excited about the idea of doing something out of the box, right? Yeah, absolutely. My design team, this is the second year we've done this for the public. And the first year, last year's winner, had sort of a philanthropic, humanitarian tinge to it. So they really got excited. And they really put a lot of effort into the company's called JMed Technology, and the woman behind it's Tony Thomas. And they just poured their heart and souls into that, and I expect them to do the same for this year's winners. And like you said, if one of them ends up being some kind of casual entertainment or a game, that would be all the more exciting. Yeah. What are we seeing the most apps of? Apple has over 1 million apps, way over 1 million now. And there are 700,000 apps available on Android, and probably even counting. What's the latest, greatest thing when it comes to apps? Well, I guess the biggest news in the last 10 days is the kid out of the UK who sold Sumly, which is a news aggregate sort of app, to Yahoo, and for $30 million and a permanent job. So that's pretty exciting. And so I think everybody, when that happens several times a year, when it makes national news, everyone's like, wow, all I got to do is build this, some amazing software. But it's a little harder than it sounds. You do have to have a technical team. Well, we have that. So we just need ideas and great people behind them. Yeah. And as you said, it's funny. It sounds like people will say that. You're right. You'll be at a bar somewhere and someone will say, hey, did you hear about the guy in the Yahoo deal that he got? And how did he get that? And blah, 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 and how much money he's making. But then you find out what the technical background is and what the development part of it is. And you're right. Ultimately, it is developing the software. It's not as necessarily as easy as it looks. For you to develop an app, I guess it probably depends, but what's the average time in developing an app for somebody? Well, every app is different in size and scope. So, this morning I was talking to a woman here in Dallas that was exploring the possibility of building an app just for her customers to contact her sales team and to basically start the sales process. And it was pretty simple. So you're probably talking around 4 to 10 weeks
total, where everything is completely done and the bow's tied around it. And, you know, that's probably on the short end. So that's on the simple side. We have another project we're working on that's going to be an Android app, an iOS Apple device app on both smartphones and tablets, plus a web-based portal with a database behind it. It's probably 9 months of development.
Wow, 9 months. All right, so anybody listening to us and they've been hearing the conversation and now they're all excited as we've flushed out the whole app thing and they've got a massively incredible idea that they want to share with you. How do they do it? How do they enter the contest?
Well, they go to codeauthority.com, C-O-D-E, authority.com. Click on incubation on the main menu right there. That's how you start the process. You can read all about it. If you like what you see, you can start the process, which means you fill out a form. And the form includes a non-disclosure agreement between us and the applicant. And that gets them in the kitty, and the deadline is May 31. So they have some time to put some effort into it, fill out the form in a detailed manner. And the winner, the semifinalists, will probably very likely be asked to travel to Dallas. So aside from that restriction, it's definitely open to anyone in the United States, and we hope to find some great people this year.
All right, I love it. Jason Taylor, Code Authority, he told you how to do it, so think of your great idea and get in there, and who knows, you could be the next lucky winner. It is like Shark Tank for apps. Thanks so much, Jace, for coming on the show.
You're welcome, Kay. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Bye-bye.